of the same Sabbatean-Frankist death cult. It has passed through centuries and infiltrated almost every aspect of human society. The most powerful and important name behind Sabbatean-Frankism and Ultra-Zionism is the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds were a Middle Ages occult family called Bauer until 1760. Banker Major Amschel Bauer in Frankfurt, Germany changed the family name to Rothschild. Rothschild means red sign or red shield in German. Major Amschel Bauer got inspired by the red hexagram or Star of David. A six-pointed star is a symbol of Saturn, which is a central pillar of the Sabbatean-Frankism. The Rothschilds and other death cult families hijack human society. One way they have all this power is through our banking system. Few know that a small number of bankers control the world. They have created a pyramid structure. At the top of the pyramid, 13 families orchestrate all the major world events. Each lower level is compartmentalized from higher levels. Only a few at the top know what is happening and why. The Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are the best known families. In 1913, these elite banking families created the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a private bank owned by them. It creates money out of thin air. There was a time when money was tied to gold, but that is long gone. Now we have a fiat currency which is only worth anything because governments say so. Fiat is Latin meaning let it be done or it shall be. The Rothschilds established the fiat money trick. Fiat money has no intrinsic value beyond what the government says it has. Yet people borrow it and pay interest on it. Our basics of life like food, drink and shelter are only available in return for money. In a civilized and conscious society, these things would be part of our human rights. The elite created the money system to acquire the world's real wealth and to dictate our choices. Wealth is not the goal in itself. A monopoly on wealth is to stop our freedom of choice. Charging interest on loans has now enslaved much of humanity. Banking families can take the assets of those who can't repay loans. Satanists and dark occultists control the banking in major corporate systems. Many of their assets go on to become famous billionaires or artists. The satanic death cult has people in all top positions such as politicians, bankers, lawyers, the police force and entrepreneurs. These psychopathic elite families believe that they are the direct descendants of the ancient gods and are royals. In their opinion, they are the real rulers over the rest of us. Their ultimate goal is to create a fascistic society which they control. They call it the New World Order. It's a plan to create a world government that will be self-appointed, not elected. This world government will control everyone on the planet through a world central bank. The film The Hunger Games portrayed this world government well. In this movie, a wealthy elite lived in luxury while the rest of the population battled to survive. People lived in prison in sectors specializing in different services to the elite. What happened in this movie looks at what is happening today. There is a project that will create the Hunger Games society called Agenda 21. It's the plan to install the world government structure. Agenda 21 operates through the United Nations. It started at the 1992 UN Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. In 2015, it got updated to Agenda 2030. It's the year when they want to establish the world government. The UN is a creation of the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Anything that comes out of the UN is part of the plan. Agenda 21 or 2030 consists of 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 associated targets. To create a world government, they want to end national sovereignty. Countries will turn into regions with national entities disappearing. That is why we have superstates like the European Union. The EU allows the European Parliament to decide policies in all member nations. The world government will also create superstates in America, Africa and the Middle East. It will also target Asia, Australia and New Zealand. Strong nations are a threat to the world government. That is why we see mass immigration around the world. Mass immigration creates a clash between different cultures and destroys nations. Agenda 21-2030 will also abolish private property and let the state manage all land resources and ecosystems. The elite wants to remove a lot of people from vast areas of land worldwide. The whole global warming scam is the pretext to get people off their properties. According to Agenda 21 or 30, we need to lower our CO2 footprint to save the planet. People living out of nature is not sustainable enough. That is why American family farmers and rural communities need to leave their lands. Strict environmental laws make rural life and small-scale farming impossible. All humans need food and water to survive. By destroying local farming, the state can control all agriculture. We will then become dependent on the state to survive. Zoning laws make it harder for people to grow their food. The plan is to ban it altogether. If people refuse to leave their land, the government will raise the taxes on their properties. In that way, they can't afford to live there anymore. The state will also define the role of business and financial resources. Today you can avoid a 9-to-5 job by either creating a passive income, or you can live off-grid by buying land and collect rainwater and use solar power. In this world government, these things will not be allowed. Instead, everyone will be told what their job would be. There will also be major restrictions on movement, and we will live in human settlement zones. For this plan to work, people need to leave their current homes and live in human settlement zones. Around 80% of present-day America would be no-go areas. The Rockefeller-funded America 2050 created a regionalized map of the United States. This map divides America into 11 mega-regions, including parts of Canada. A mega-region called Cascadia will encompass Seattle, Portland, Vancouver and British Columbia. Mega-regions will have mega-cities or human settlement zones. High-speed railways will connect these mega-regions. Trains will be the main means of travel in the Hunger Games world. They are easy to police, track and control. The goal is to make people live in mega-cities while the elite steals all the land. Agenda 21 or 30 also wants to destroy the family unit and let the state raise the children. They also want to dumb down education. The most sinister plan of the death cult is to reduce the world's population. It's much easier to maintain and control us if there are fewer people. There are various ways to achieve this, such as processed food, laboratory-created diseases, starvation, irradiated atmosphere, fluoridated water, vaccines, chemotherapy, 5G, or falling sperm counts. If you glance at the biodiversity map of the United States, it's clear that there needs to be a cull of the population. The yellow and red parts of this map shows areas where people can't live. One of the best ways the elite knows how to reduce the population is by using vaccines. The World Health Organization is a sinister institution created by the Rockefellers. Every time there's a pandemic, the organization pushes for vaccines. Vaccines contain toxic chemicals such as aluminum and mercury. They do not create immunity. You cannot become immune by ingesting poisons that destroy the immune system. Bill Gates' father was once the leader of Planned Parenthood, a creation of the Rockefellers. Planned Parenthood is a racist eugenics movement. That is why Bill Gates is such a big supporter of the depopulation agenda. In one TED talk he said if we give vaccines to poor countries, we could reduce the population by 10 to 15%.
Population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
If people refuse to take vaccines, it will be mandatory. In Denmark, they are already talking about forcing coronavirus vaccines on people. If you don't get vaccinated, you may not enter shops or get paid. There are also some rumors that vaccines will contain a nanochip. In that way, the government can see who got vaccinated or not. The fifth generation of mobile technology will create a massive surveillance grid. Everything will be connected to the internet, including your fridge. Anything with smart in the name is part of the control grid. The elite families are masters of deception. If they make drastic changes in society, people would object and stop it. To change the world, they use a strategy that David Icke calls problem, reaction, solution. It's the death cult's favorite way to make huge changes in society. So this is how the strategy works. You first create a perceived problem to make people react. After that you present the solution to get the outcome you want. When people are fearful, they are a lot easier to control. The media is nothing more than state propaganda. They tell everybody lies to further their agenda. In the case of the coronavirus, they want us to fear it. Governments, companies, banks, the military, and the media operate as one unit with the same goal. The elite uses the coronavirus situation as a way to change the world. One way I believe they use it is to crash the economy and enforce restrictions on people. To create a new world order, they need to destroy superstates such as the US and China. That is why they are crashing the economy to create mayhem. A global economic catastrophe will justify a single cashless worldwide currency and a world central bank. The best way bankers know how to make big changes in the world is through wars. That is why they need to create a third world war. Wars are one of the best ways to change the world by destroying the status quo and installing another. A third world war is on its way to justify a world government and world army. The coronavirus pandemic is an excuse to install the new world order. When you centralize power, a tiny few can control the many. That is why we have central banks, governments, and the EU. The government is an institution created by psychopaths to control the many. Governments are nothing more than organized terror. They don't care about us. To prevent a new world order, people need to take control of the world. We have the numbers. If enough people wake up and disobey governments, this satanic society would be no more. We need to make this change out of love, not hate. Hate will only lead to more of the same. We have the power of non-violent non-participation. It's time for the world to wake up and stop this madness now. If you want to learn more about this topic, then read our blog post. There you can download a free ebook to learn how to stop the coronavirus from affecting you.